Hey, what's going on, guys? Gathalion, welcome back to Destiny. So over the weekend, Bungie PvP guy Derek Carroll dropped a bomb on Eurogamer, basically saying that there will be no more story DLC for year one, more or less. Is kind of the quote that I got from Eurogamer, and a lot of places, a la Kotaku and IGN, have started reporting on this news. And I have to say, it's kind of a bummer. I do know that Eurogamer in the past has not felt like the most credible source or the best at picking and choosing the quotes to use. It's been a widely known fact that a DLC or two was in action or planned for action for each year of Destiny. And year two was supposed to be no different from that, but it is looking like it might just be. Derek Carroll went on to say that those large monolithic DLCs, which isn't how I would describe Dark Below or House of Wolves as monolithic. He said that those monolithic DLCs would, in place of, be replaced by events like Sparrow Racing, new things added to Destiny on a more regular basis. And spiced things up here and there. I like this, and I don't like this. I hope that there will be some story DLC going forward. I'm not sure Destiny really needs it to survive. I think there's lots of annual games that get by on the amount of content that they come with them. Taken King had an absolute crap load of content in it, and a lot of players still aren't even finished with that amount of content. And I think Destiny would do well if they put a lot of effort into a year 3 full sequel. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but, you know, I wouldn't be lying if I said that I would be disappointed that we got no more DLC for year 2. Moving on, aside from initial disappointments and my negative reactions to this possible confirmation of no DLC, but it also makes me think, well, what else might they have in the pipeline for these free events? Sparrow Racing has been free. There's only a couple things within it that are simply cosmetic upgrades to your character, not any real power that you have to spend silver on to get. So I'm not too worried about that. Sparrow Racing, I'm going to do a full overview on Sparrow Racing later on in the week. Sparrow Racing, that's not even... What is this? You gotta race your Sparrows, just like in Pokemon. Anyways, So, Sparrow Racing does not really require you to spend any money to get neat sparrows, neat shaders. This is all stuff you could win within SRL itself. I think it's a fun event. I'm going to go over it later this week. I want to finish my my quote-unquote record book first, which is really just a cleverly hidden paid mission, it seems like, or even bounty, almost. So, I'm kind of curious about what they have in store going throughout the rest of year 2. If it is going to be this free structure, are we going to see any sort of, like, story missions, new exotics dropped, any sort of new bosses, perhaps new strikes? If this is the kind of free trickle of content that I think we might see every couple of months, I'm on board. I would be lying if I said I didn't want to see a new raid before the end of year 2. I would be lying if I said that I didn't want to, you know, see some more story. But, you know, I think one of the biggest complaints I've seen from Destiny is that it is repetitive. And for hardcore Destiny fans, this is something that works. I think we like the repetition. It's not bad. I legitimately enjoy doing patrols and bounties, but that's the guy that I am. Not everybody is me, and your concerns are no less relevant than mine. We all have a different point of view on things, and that's how it stands. But one of the biggest complaints I've seen... Those bullets were just in midair. One of the biggest complaints I've seen is repetition. And I think if Bungie, throughout the rest of year 2, experiments with new modes, new strikes, things like Sparrow Racing, perhaps a boss attack rush, perhaps even time trials on strikes, I think they could be onto something to make the game more interesting as a whole. So, while I am disappointed initially by the news of possibly no raids, no DLCs, or no conventional DLCs, as they've gone on to say, as we expected or saw in year 1, which means it can open up so many different doors for them to try and experiment with new things. I never in 1,000 years thought they would actually make a fully fledged Sparrow Racing League mode, and they did. They surprised me. And it's been a while since I've been surprised. I might have had to learn things, but legitimate surprise by Bungie and Destiny is not something I've felt for well over a year now. So, I like it. I dislike it, but I mostly like it. And I think bringing in some new modes, some new monthly events, and some semi-monthly new planned events that are free for the gamers, that offer up paid silver for cosmetics, I think it could be on the right track for the rest of year 2. And it could also free up the development team in order to make a better year 3. A better true sequel to Destiny, which I think time might be better spent on a full sequel than continuing with the trend of the DLC they've done. Do they need story DLC to bring some sort of content that people actually want to play? I do think sometime along the line they do need to offer a gear step for players, whether it be recycling year 2 and year 1 content to offer up power above 320. I think that's something that should happen. They did just recently add Omnigul back to the Heroic Strike playlist and the Vanguard Strike playlist, so Omnigul has been added. This could be done with old strikes, new strikes, yada yada. You see where I'm going. I'm obviously going to keep a positive outlook on things, because that's what I try to do, but I will voice my concern with the lack of story DLC. We'll see what happens, man. I guess it could really all teeter on how SRL goes down, how people are enjoying it, and more specifically, how the next surprise event goes down, and what it involves, how big of a curveball it is, and how players react to it. That's my thoughts on it, guys. You guys know I would like more DLC, but I also want to see what they're going to offer, and if it's more constant trickle of content, I could get down on that. That makes things pretty interesting for me, rather than having to wait, 4 months for something that might last us a couple weeks. We wait a couple months for something that lasts us, a week of fun. I don't know. My take on it. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, don't forget to leave a comment section below. Let me know how you're enjoying the current new quote-unquote content. Do you like SRL? What kind of new modes would you like to see added? I know that Bungie does listen. They do. I swear to God, I promise you they do. And I'll see you guys back inside of Destiny. Peace!